the slight enhancements each month. So this last Wednesday was our first class of the school year. September didn't work out for them. They rearranged. They were meeting on Thursdays, and then they moved to Wednesdays, which actually was Christian's arrangement because I became available Wednesday and not available Thursday. So Krishna made it all work out. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is one, the month of Kartik, as I said before, anything you do auspiciously or pious is multiplied thousands of times. So anything unauspicious or impious is multiplied too. So, mind your P's and Q's, because otherwise you're going to be building up bad karma, right? You're going to be, you'll pay for it later. Sometimes it's instant, sometimes it's not. So I wanted, the first thing is the 30-day challenge. So this is the perfect day to do the 30-day challenge. If you're not chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra every day, right, for say at least 5 minutes, or even 1 minute, I guess, but 5 minutes is a good number, or if you want to do 15 minutes, or it's up to you. But on Tuesday, do this experiment, and this is a great month to start, the month of Kartik. So, as I said in the past, if you don't journal, a blank book, get a blank book, you can buy them at the dollar store for $1, and start journaling. And in the morning, on Tuesday, write down how you're feeling. Chant for 5 minutes, or whatever you're going to do, or if you have a japa bag and you're chanting on japa beads, chant extra rounds then, and then do that in the morning, and then at the end of the day, write down how your day went. And do this for 30 days during the month of Kartik. Start on Tuesday and do it for the full 30 days during the month of Kartik. One, you're getting great spiritual benefit. You're becoming purified 1,000 times. Every time you say Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Every time you say that during the month of Kartik, that's one mantra that's worth 1,000 mantras, right? So or more. So this is one thing you can start with, because chanting this Maha Mantra, as Lord Chaitanya said in Adi Leela, and as we know, Lord Chaitanya, who is up on the right, and Lord Nityananda on the left, Nimai is Lord Chaitanya. He is Krishna and Radha combined. So this is spoken by Krishna. In Adi Leela, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, it's chapter 17, verse 21. And it's Haranama, Haranama, Haranama Be Kevalam. Kalam Nasti, Vanasti, Vanasti, Vanakatiramyata. So there is no other way, there is no other way, there is no other way in this age of Kali, right? So and he gives us this beautiful warning, or command, I would say. So he's Lord Gauranga is calling us, wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls. You have slept so long on the lap of Maya. So just recently, there were, 9 days of Navratri, right? So 9 days celebrating, guess who? Durga. Who's Durga? Maya Devi. So many people, this is a big deal, right? In India, right? So it's part of the tradition. But if you can imagine, I personally would not want to pray to Maya Devi, because you're praying to the 3 modes of material nature, which are ignorance, passion, and goodness, right? So goodness, yes, we want to do things in the mode of goodness, because then we can become purified, and then we can transcend the 3 modes of material nature. But the mode of goodness is still a material mode of nature. So it's going to anchor you to this material world. So this is what this mantra does. This mantra will liberate you. It purifies you. It liberates you in this lifetime. To the point where when you chant it and you only think of Krishna, nothing will bother you. And this gets to actually what my class was about Wednesday night, which was we spoke about, guess what? The Bhagavad Gita. And the students, what I do is the president of the club always asks the students, they say, what do you want Ram Kishore to talk about the next time he's there? And this time they said, we want to know, how can the Bhagavad Gita help us? Like, why should I even open it? Right? Right? And so I said, oh, that's great. That's a perfect topic. Right? So the reason being is because it can relieve you of all stress and anxiety and fear and lust and ego with the combination of chanting Hare Krishna and studying the Bhagavad Gita. And it's not that hard. I'm not saying you have to sit down and read the Bhagavad Gita. Ooh, right? I know so many students, college students, they got out of college and said, I'm not going to read another book. They still, right? I get it. I wasn't, but so you don't have to sit down and read it, right? But what is the Bhagavad Gita? The Bhagavad Gita is a roadmap on how to live a life that gets us out of this miserable material ocean in the material world. And I have an example. So a good friend of mine, I've known him a long time, since 1987. So a year less than I've known Jimmy. And he loves the material world. Like he went to New Vrindavan when they did the grand opening of the Palace of Gold, right? He's always dabbled in Krishna consciousness, and he has to be my gardener too, so an old friend. But we have a deep discussion every week, because he comes by at the same time. He comes by on Mondays when I work from home, and I have lunch from noon to 1, so we talk. I give him some prasad, and then he does his job, his work. But he says, oh, I love the material world. It's so wonderful. I just want to come back here lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And I said, Prabhu, what are you talking about? I said, in the spiritual world, this material world is a mirror of the spiritual world. It's more beautiful than you can ever imagine. It's more opulent, right? And there's no what? There's no birth, death, old age, and disease. I don't know about you, but I'm not looking forward to withering and down to some old prune that dies horrible death on a deathbed, right? It's going to happen though. All of us are going to the same place, right? Hopefully Krishna is merciful and I just go in my sleep, but we'll see. So this is the thing though, and what can deliver you from this misery? The Bhagavad Gita and the chanting of the holy name. So what I did is I've had this posted in my office ever since it came out. This was put together for the 50th anniversary of ISKCON, which was 10 years next year. So it was in 2016. And it has Finding Help in the Bhagavad Gita. And I've got a bunch of these printed out, so I don't know if I have enough for everybody, but I will get more printed, so I'll bring more to the temple. But it covers everything you could ever imagine. So what we did Wednesday night is we sat in a circle, and I said, and I pretty much said the same thing I said tonight, right? And then I said, is anyone willing to share how they're feeling today? And this nice young woman raised her hand, and she said yes. And she said she was, what was it she was? It was loneliness, right? So there's a whole list. This covers anger, confusion, dealing with envy. Ooh, that's a big one. Death of a loved one, demotivated. How many people have been demotivated before, right? Yeah, had a really bad boss that demotivated you, scolded you for something that was not right. Depression. How many people have been depressed? I have. Discriminated. Fear, feeling sinful, forgetfulness, greed, laziness, loneliness, losing hope, lust, practicing forgiveness, pride, seeking peace and temptation, and uncontrolled mind. How many people have a controlled mind? The only reason my mind is controlled is when I'm chanting Hare Krishna, right? Anyways, then she shared, and what we did is, and it was perfect loneliness. I'm just going to read the text. It's from chapter 6, text 30, which is a very famous verse, by the way. Chapter 6. Keep an eye on time. We're almost over. 6:30. And what was amazing is, this is a Hindu club at the University of Minnesota, so everyone is there. We've had other attendees that didn't grow up or in India or weren't raised in the culture of Indian family. But what was amazing is everyone said, I've never opened the Bhagavad Gita, and 2, I'm going to now. Because they said, you made it simple, Prabhu. I said, it's simple. So you don't have to read the whole book, eventually maybe, but use it every day. So as anyone who's on the WhatsApp group, every morning we post a verse. And what happens is I don't pick the verse, Krishna does. And I say, I have this Bhagavad Gita, and I say, Krishna, what's a verse that's relevant to our community today? And then he guides my hand to a verse, and then it gets posted. And so even if you don't feel like you want to use the sheet, just read that one verse. Just read the verse in the purport. You don't have to know Sanskrit; it's translated to English. If you want, you can switch it to your native language. If you speak Hindi or Bengali or anything, that online database, it covers it all, right? So text 30 is one of my favorite. For one who sees me everywhere and sees everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. And the purport, I'm going to read. Normally we don't read purports, but I'm going to read it because it's just very sweet, and I think it'll land the point. A person in Krishna consciousness certainly sees Lord Krishna everywhere, and he sees everything in Krishna. Such a person may appear to see all separate manifestations of the material nature, but in each and every instance he is conscious of Krishna. Knowing that everything is the manifestation of Krishna's energy, nothing can exist without Krishna, and Krishna is the Lord of everything. This is the basic principle of Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is the development of love of Krishna, a position transcendental even to material liberation. I spoke about you can be liberated in this lifetime by chanting this mantra. Yes, absolutely. It is the stage beyond self-realization at which the devotee becomes one with Krishna in the sense that Krishna becomes everything for the devotee. And the devotee becomes full in loving Krishna. An intimate relationship between the Lord and the devotee and the person then exists. In that stage, the living entity attains his immortality. Nor is the personality of Godhead ever out of sight of the devotee. To merge in Krishna is spiritual annihilation. Right? You're personless. Krishna is a person. The devotee takes no such risk. It is stated in the Dharma Samhita, I worship the primeval Lord Govinda, who is always seen by the devotee whose eyes are anointed with the pulp of love. He is seen in his eternal form of Shamsundar, situated within the heart of the devotee. That's Brahma Samhita 5:38. At this stage, Lord Krishna never disappears from the sight of the devotee, nor does the devotee ever lose sight of the Lord. In the case of the yogi who sees the Lord as Paramatma within the heart, the same applies. Such a yogi turns into a pure devotee and cannot bear to live for a moment without seeing the Lord within himself. So I then at the end of reading this, because the student read it, and I said, how does this make you feel? Because this is where the value is, right? Not just to read it, but you actually have to think about it and contemplate it. That's why in the morning I say, today's Bhagavad Gita verse for your contemplation. For your contemplation. I contemplate on it too. But how does this apply to me? How can Krishna help me with these words today? And what was amazing is this this group, there were about 15 students, and they felt safe to be able to actually share their true feelings. And this is the mark, this is the sign of a devotee. We have to be able to have these deep discussions. We have to be able to have these heart-to-heart sharings, because that's how we associate and that's how we learn about Krishna consciousness. This is how we learn how we, as living entities, can transcend this material world. Not by being lectured at, right? Not by being told, don't do this, that's bad, right? Chant Hare Krishna, you'll lose all attraction for these things that are against the rules of Krishna consciousness, right? And what does that mean? That means the three modes of material nature, right? So ignorance and passion, we want to avoid those. Do we constantly have a mix of the three, ignorance, passion, and goodness, in our daily life? Absolutely. But it gets minimized the more we chant Hare Krishna and the more we go to Krishna and his words, because he spoke this on the battlefield of Kurukshetra for our benefit. For our benefit. Krishna, Krishna speaking to Arjuna, but we are Arjuna. We are in the chariot with Krishna in our life. So are we going to listen or not? So are we paying attention? Because Krishna is giving us signs every day. Anyways, that's the gist of what I wanted to share today. So try the 30-day challenge. Chant Hare Krishna every day. Keep a journal. See how you're feeling. I guarantee you, because I'm proof, as long as many devotees in here who are chanting every day, you can ask them. It will transform your life. You will become a happier person. Does that mean things like the stressful things are going to stop happening? Absolutely not. Because Maya Devi keeps pestering you. That is her job. Her job is to pester you. And your job is to be patient and determined, because through those activities, you prove to Krishna that you're actually worthy of his mercy. He's not just going to let anybody, because when you become a pure devotee, when you transcend the material modes of nature, you have full control of Krishna. I'm going to say that again. When you transcend the material modes of nature and become a pure devotee, you will control Krishna. This is why he doesn't give his heart to anyone. To everyone. This is why, right? So, I'll leave it on that note. So chant Hare Krishna, read the daily verse. I'll put these out. I'll put these out up here. And take one. I'll send it out digitally too on the WhatsApp group. And then you can, I printed them out smaller. It's an 8.5 by 11, but so I can print more efficiently and hand them out to the students, but you can still read it. So you can take these, or you can keep it on your phone as a digital once I post it on WhatsApp. And when you're feeling, when you're feeling lazy, there's a bunch of verses here. Krishna's going to give you some instruction, right? And but you're going to have to contemplate and really meditate on it, because he's not going to give it to you easy, right? So it takes a little effort, and that's why reading the Bhagavad Gita, when you do decide to read the whole thing, reading it once, it's not a book, right? How many people have read other esoteric books in their lifetime, whether it's Vedic or Christian or Buddhist, right? Reading through it once, you're going to get something, but you're not going to get it all. Then you have to go back and you start over, and then you go back and you start over, and you go back and you start over. There's so much nectar in here that in a lifetime, there's always more. So anyways, on that note, I will be quiet, and we're going to do some kirtan because we've been sitting, so let's get up and we'll do some dancing.